recording this speech in my car because we have family over from out of town, and it's very, very loud in my house. This is the only quiet place I can think to do it. So today I'll be persuading you to think or believe that cheerleading is a sport. So first I'm going to read the definition of an athlete and the definition of a sport, and then I'm going to list a few things that cheerleaders do or go through, and you'll see if it fits the characteristic. So the definition of an athlete is a person who is proficient in sports or other forms of physical exercise. The definition of a sport is an activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against another team or others for entertainment. So, college cheerleaders work out at least twice a week in weight training. And that's not only college cheerleaders. I know at Camden High School we have open gym, which is basically weight training for all fall athletes. Cheerleading is considered a fall sport at Camden High, and I'm pretty sure at most high schools it's a fall sport. So the cheerleaders are allowed to go to the gym during the summer. I'm pretty sure it's Mondays and Tuesdays from like 8 a.m. to 12, I want to say. And they get to go work out, practice weight training, get their muscles bigger. So, cheerleaders do participate in stunts, and they require you to lift someone of your weight or more in the air for long periods of time. So being that whenever I cheered, I was a base, and most of the flyers were smaller than me, but they're still, like, once you get them in the air, they might look small on the ground, but in the air, they are so much heavier. So you are lifting, like, in football, you're not lifting anything but a ball. In basketball, you're not lifting anything but a ball. In wrestling, you lift people. That's a sport. In cheerleading, you lift people. Why isn't that considered a sport? So, also in cheerleading, tumbling and jumps require strength, flexibility, and technique. Cheerleading isn't considered a sport, but it requires these things. So I'm confused because football doesn't require much flexibility. You're really just running up and down the field, tackling people. I guess you could say you need a little flexibility when it comes to, cutting ways. Make sure you don't pull a muscle or anything. But it's not much flexibility in football. I could see some flexibility in basketball because, you do have to jump sometimes. But other than that, most sports don't require flexibility, but cheerleading does. So if flexibility isn't something required in most sports, that one thing that cheerleading requires should make it considered even more of a sport. So, going back to the technique part of tumbling and jumps, all sports require technique. In order for you to be good at a sport, you have to perfect your technique. So, cheerleading, you have to perfect your technique. You can't just do a round off back handspring and you've never done one before. You have to be flexible, you need to practice, and you need to start off with just a cartwheel. Like, you have to start somewhere to build up like that. And so, in cheerleading, you need endurance to make things easier and ensure your energy throughout game day and throughout performances. So, just like football players, cheerleaders are right there on the sidelines the whole time, screaming, yelling, jumping, dancing throughout the whole football game. Just like the football team is running up and down the field the whole game. Just like the basketball team is running up and down the court the whole game. Cheerleaders are right there screaming, yelling, cheering for them. So that you have to have good endurance in order for you to be able to keep up with the team and all sorts of stuff like that. So, basically, cheerleading is difficult and it's goal-oriented. Your goal is to keep the crowd hyped, motivate your football team. Another goal of cheerleading is, to win. Whenever you go compete in cheer competitions, you want to win. So, another note for making something that makes it a sport is it must be governed by rules that explicitly define time, space, and purpose or conditions under which the winner is declared. So for cheer competitions, you have to stay on the mat, You have a time limit. You have score sheets, all that. And even during football games, you can't be on the field. I mean, you're confined to like this a little bit of space on the football field. So you do have a size limit, a time limit, all that. Therefore, I believe since cheerleading has so many characteristics that go hand in hand with football, basketball, wrestling, soccer, cheerleading should be considered a sport. And that's not even including the fact that to try out for cheerleading, you have to be able to run a mile, run 2 miles. Like, you have to show that your endurance is good for you to be on the team and withstand going through. Make sure you're not wasting energy on game day. You don't want to be that one cheerleader on the sideline, out of breath and tired. Because if you are, then you're just simply not going to make the team. So cheerleading is a sport, and I hope you believe that now that you believe that cheerleading is a sport. If you didn't believe before, I hope that I got to change your mind. And if I didn't, I hope one day you'll realize that cheerleading is a sport.